Didn't you hear there's a new Delta variant of coronavirus out there? What does that mean for you? Well, I mean, I can't say, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it means for your physical health or anything like that, but I do know this. If you're a small business owner, that feeling you get on your back, that's a gigantic target the government's painting on you once again. Joining me now to talk about that and many other things is former investment banker and author of a book you really, really, really need to read, The War on Small Business, Carol Roth. Carol, look, someone got sick. Small business clearly has to close again, right?
Absolutely. And we're going to make sure that the small business is closed, but the Amazon warehouse stays open. We're going to make sure that the weed dispensary stays open, even though it was illegal in our county a couple of years ago. We're going to make sure that your dog can get its nails groomed and its hair done, but people can't. Those things are important. They're essential, Jesse. The government said that they are essential, but your small business isn't. And, if you happen to be a bank, don't worry about it. We're going to bail you out because you're too big to fail. But if you're a small business, sorry, you are too small to matter and too hard to control. You will get crumbs or nothing, and you will like it.
Carol, how bad was the last year and a half for small business? People know it's bad, right? Especially people watching this show. They've seen you on here before, but they can't really quantify how bad. How bad was it?
Yeah, I mean, so if you think about how many big businesses and how many small businesses there are in this country, people don't realize there's only about 10 to 15,000 big businesses. There were, before COVID, 30.2 million small businesses. We know that as of June of last year, at least 400,000 of them closed and millions more are fighting to survive. But if you just took 400,000, which is a devastating number, that's 40 times the number of big businesses in this country.
Carol, I try not to be a cynical person. I certainly try not to point fingers because, as everybody knows, I'm the worst person on the planet. But I saw this and it made me want to choke somebody, so I need you to talk me off a ledge. There's a poll, Fox News poll. Of all the factors people are most concerned with economically, people are most concerned with inflation and higher prices, followed by taxes and unemployment. Okay, so Carol, help me understand this. They're concerned with inflation and higher prices and taxes and unemployment. But I remember the American people, not everyone, obviously a lot of people watching this show won't be in this boat, but I remember the American people also screaming for more COVID stimulus and government protection last year. Would you please merge those two worlds for me, because I struggle with that?
Well, I really am a glass is half full kind of gal, Jesse, so I really feel like I'm the right person to do this.
Yeah, of course.
This is the problem. This is the disconnect, and this is why the government has gotten so strong, is because they throw crumbs at people. They throw you, some Donnie dollars and some Biden bucks, and people want to get their money, which, by the way, is your own money. The government doesn't actually make anything. And so they don't want to give up their little piece at the utter expense of everything else. They don't realize that the $100 they're giving you or the $1,000 they're giving you is actually costing you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's enabling this consolidation of wealth and power. And if you look at all the things the government has interfered with, small business, which, ownership of a business, the stock market, ownership of equity, the housing market, ownership of a home. It almost sounds like, Jesse, they don't really want the average American to own anything, which we know is the path to wealth creation, which is a very, very scary thing for economic freedom in this country.
Carol, I understand that, again, I rely on you for all the intelligence on this show when it comes to financial things. But what it sounds like you're saying to me, when we just put up that graphic with the prices, we have home prices all-time high. What that sounds to me like is the destruction of the middle class. I mean, obviously, people who are doing well are going to be fine. Poor people are, and I'm not trying to be callous here, they're still going to be poor. But that sounds like what you're doing is you're pricing middle class people out of being middle class and shoving them down into poverty.
Yeah, I think it's even scarier than that. It's the destruction of the middle class, but it's also the destruction of any economic freedom and capitalism. It's really moving us towards this central planning control. And I don't care what words you want to use for it. Socialism, communism, hybrid socialism, democratic socialism, I don't care what it is. It's central planning. So if you, like you said, are at the upper echelon, you are in the club, you're going to be part of the people that owns that wealth. If you're at the bottom, you're going to be on the government dole. And if you're in the middle, you're probably going to move towards that bottom. And what were the stimulus checks? Those were conditioning you that the government is going to take care of you. Next, they're going to roll out UBI. And this is the path to them controlling more. But I'm telling you, the only people who get wealthy on the government dole are the politicians.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.